Ladies and gentlemen, this is your morning 10 and L coaching show. It's 3 month at Carrot Corner. If Shu, my student, is dealt pocket threes today, she's going to have to bluff off a stack. Well, not have to, it depends on the spot. But we're here to get some real-time feedback in this race to 25 NL. Shu is racing her competitor Jurgen to 25 NL, trying to crush 10 NL. How's it been going with you this week?
This week I think it's good. I think it's good. Yeah, I have some coolers, but overall, the most important is that I play good. The bankroll doesn't matter. It's more like learning of my mistakes. Yeah, that's the most important.
Yeah, it's a fantastic attitude to have for sure. That's exactly what we want you saying. Okay, so you know the drill. We sit in, we play a hand, we sit out, we talk about it. A bit of a pep talk before we start. So last time we did one of these streams, I thought your intuitive play was really good. The main thing I was trying to cut back on was missing value. I was trying to get you to assess whether you should fast play, slow play, using, range analysis, thinking about villain's range a bit more, settling down to think in key spots. You were good at that on the river. Facing bets, you were slowing down a lot. Where you were a bit too fast in the last stream was when you had value hands, like just thinking about what to do, sizing, fast play, slow play, that kind of thing. And yeah, I think we can keep playing intuitively and quickly in some spots because that's what you're good at, but also identifying the key moments to settle down to a short think. And just doing a bit of villain range analysis really is going to be today's quest. How does that sound?
Yeah, take my time and think it through, not reacting.
Yeah, reacting in some spots where you've just got a really clear instinct, but in other spots where we need to reset your instinct, where we need to retrain it, that's where we need to use the conscious mind a little bit more. Conscious mind sucks, right? It's kind of weak compared to the subconscious. The subconscious is like way more powerful, but sometimes we've got to use the conscious mind to program the subconscious to learn new habits.
And bring the conscious to subconscious.
Yep. All right, let's sit in. Let's get a hand going here. Guys, let me know on YouTube, Twitch when we're live. We are on a short delay here. Not a major one.
Okay, 9. Need to raise it up. 16% of hands. That's good.
Good morning, Fish to Shark TV. Jurgen in the house. We've got Insurrection, Justin, Sensei from Carrot Poker, and Jared is also here. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Do say hello. Let us know that the stream is all right.
Good morning, Jürgen. This kind of raise.
Last time with Christoph, we had Pete speak French. Can we have him speaking Chinese today? Is Chinese actually a language, or is it's like Mandarin, or what's your first language here?
I mean, Mandarin, Cantonese, there's all like only just like umbrella word, like overarching category. And
cool. How different are they?
well, I don't understand Cantonese at all.
Right. So pretty
I think
different.
writing there's similarities, but like the speaking the sound is completely different. Also, there's like Shanghainese, like almost every province has their own dialect that I don't understand.
Right.
I just speak.
And the answer is absolutely not, by the way, Manu.
What is the question?
If I can try and speak Chinese, and I'm not even going to attempt to speak any Chinese language or dialect today. Nope.
You know, like ni hao, right? No?
What's that?
Oh. What? You don't know ni hao?
I don't even know what that means. Anyway, let's focus. I'm putting you off.
Ace queen, ace queen. I have the ace of spade here. Should I just all in here? I mean, Yeah, I just all in here. Ace queen? He's thinking. Ace jack? Ace jack of hearts? I don't know. What are you thinking about? What is his stats? Hmm. Is he slow rolling me? Oh my god. Come on. Probably ace queen, right? Ace queen of hearts. That's what I say.
Oh my god, what a
Oh
net
my
roll that was.
gosh.
Wow. What a net roll. Whatever the nitty tag is, that player needs to have it, I think.
At
Wow.
least he thought about folding. At least he thought about folding, right?
Yeah, let's review that hand and this one, whatever this one becomes.
Oh my god. I said out, yeah.
NL10 only beatable with rush format due to lower rake? No. NL10 is beatable because the players are terrible compared to higher stakes and you can have a big edge and you do have to pay a lot of rake, but so if you play reg tables you have a higher hourly because the tables are softer and you obviously pick up reads on recreationals and you can select to some extent. And
Mhm.
if you play Russian cash, your edge is lower in BB per 100, but the rake is a bit lower. You play more hands. Both are beatable. Don't listen to anyone who says they're not. You just have to be better than you used to have to be before GG kind of, hiked up rake and took over the market. So it's not a good climate, but it's possible. We wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't. Ni hao means hello. Yeah, well, that's my. I don't even know hello. That's my the extent of my Mandarin. Right. So, what was your thought process on the river here? I think your flop and turn play was good. I like your sizing, your pot building nicely. One thing you can do in these spots is just get a bit greedy on turn, make your bet a bit bigger, create that smoother SPR if you want to when you've got value hand or a bluff actually. There's a little trick here, by the way, that when you're bluffing, the bigger you go on turn, the more overfolded river tends to be. Not the more folded, the more overfolded, if that makes sense, right? So the more folded compared to the pot odds. So when you give people better pot odds on the river to call the third barrel, they don't adapt enough to that. They're still going call, fold like too much, even when the price is better on the river. So it's generally going to be good to do that. Stream snipe, I don't think there was enough time for that. I hope there wasn't. It'd be a hell of a coincidence if he was just doing that right at the start of the stream. No, don't worry about that, Shu. Don't listen to chat. There's no way anyone's watching and reacting. So what we're doing now is analyzing river. So you went all in here. Your main thought process that you vocalized was about praying that villain had ace queen of hearts, which is a reasonable desire. But what's the logic to all in? Did you consider a different bet size as well? What were you thinking there?
I mean, the B75 is already like just like probably like 30 big blind left.
Mm-hmm.
I might as well just go all in. If I bet this and he shove, I probably still call, right?
Okay.
So
So
if he has the ace, he call and I just get the most money.
right. So I don't want to worry about what happens if they go all in. That's just not that relevant. It would be a horrendous spot. It would be really horrible. You'd probably actually need to fold, in all honesty, because it would be like, okay, maybe not. It depends how much is left and whether villain can be a fish, but nobody is like bluffing or shoving a worse hand there, really. So like you're probably losing almost every single time when that happens, and I wouldn't actually worry about that. That's too rare. It's not part of our decision about whether we value bet. What really matters is your equity. And I agree that all in is fine. I think it's the best play. I think ace 10 is going to raise turn a lot. I think sets are going to raise turn a lot, like 10s and 7s. Villain almost certainly has mostly ace queen, ace jack, ace 9 suited, ace 5 suited, stuff like this here. You might even get heroed by jacks or king 10 suited or queen 10 suited from time to time. I'm not saying that's a common occurrence, but it does happen. We've all been stationed by those hands when we're bluffing and been like, what the hell, man? So we know that happens. So I love the
Mm.
all in, I love the shove, but I wouldn't use the argument that if we go 75, we may as well go all in, or like if we go 75, we're going to struggle to fold to all in. That's not really relevant to EV. What's relevant to EV is your equity. So just keep it nice and pure, nice and simple. You've got overwhelmingly high equity with Ace King still here. Like you've got the best hand very, very frequently. And if you're like 85, 90% equity here, which I think you probably are, honestly, when they don't raise earlier, you just want to put the maximum in, even if that's an overbet. So just keep it simple, keep it about your equity and value betting, and I think it'll streamline your thought process more. But yeah, great, very, very well played hand, very good, getting value, no slow playing,
Getting slow roll.
and then getting nit rolled. So this is a bit different. The
And
nit roll is like I am scared. I play poker in a state of constant terror. What a miserable existence. But this is some people. He needs mental game coaching. This player.
I'm sometimes like that, to be
We all are,
honest.
sure. We all are. While I'm berating it, we are all like that sometimes if we're in the wrong frame of mind. So what I need you doing is getting that fearless bluffing instinct. You've already got that for raising river, right? Like you're good at that. But in other spots too, like doubling, tripling, like finding the overfolded spots, asking if you should bluff, asking how favorable the landscape is for your range, and then like deciding what your standards are for bluffing. Do you have high standards for bluffing on the flop or turn? Can you be betting hands that are really trashy? Just getting enough bluffs into your game, right? That's another mission for today. Okay, let's go, let's go. Good start.
Let's go.
10 out of 10 for that hand. Gonna give all your meaningful hands a score because we love that on the stream. 10 out of 10. Perfect start. Can we keep it up for the whole stream?
And GG win, all the rake.
That's always the way. So it's 3 month at Carrot Corner. We have recorded a video with Clanty yesterday where we reviewed a bunch of 3-3 hands that were posted in the Discord, and the best played, most interesting hand is going to win £1,000 of Carrot Corner vouchers. Speaking of Carrot Corner, 33% off from Thursday the 27th on all courses and bundles, the biggest discount by far that we've ever run. Don't miss it. Thursday 27th of November, that sale kicks off, and I'll be streaming all day. I have a stream schedule set up for that shoe. You're one of the guests on the stream. We also have guests like Easty and Benna Badbeat and other people that you may know in the Carrot Corner world.
This is my bluff hand.
Yes, it's a default 3-bet. We are defaulting to 3-betting this hand every time blind versus blind. It's already fine in theory. It's high frequency in theory. We're doing it every time. It's the winning play at these stakes. Great stuff. 10 out of 10 for that too. What's up, Sammy? On Twitch. It says, go on, Pete, you legend. It's good to see you again, my friend. It's been a while. Justin says, probably close slightly too thin to jam the Ace King in theory. I agree, but I think people are very bad at having the requisite traps there as well. So I'm a fan.
Jacks. Oh, that's good. At least I didn't lose.
So Board again says, I played some RNC, Russian Cast, NL25 just for fun, and the rake there is absurd. If you're not decent at poker, it's unbeatable. Well, it's a couple of big blinds higher than stars or something like that, and the games are fairly soft, and it's definitely beatable, but it's always been the case that if you're not decent at poker, then online poker is unbeatable. You have to be very good to win online. Like, you can't just be this bozo in the card room that's like sitting with fish all day. Then you swan into online poker and you're like, I'll beat 25 and now because it's low stakes, and you get destroyed because you have no fundamentals because you're a live fish. Doesn't work, guys. No offense, live players.
4. Well, 4. 3, I just shoved, right? Pocket threes.
Let's not go that far. But I like the spirit.
I have nothing. Multi-way, just check. If I win, it will be a miracle. Oh, everyone. Okay, now I fold. Now 5. With a short stack behind me. I want to raise this. I just call this. I'll try. I'll try. Maybe not a good idea. 43. Dangerous territory. Actually, normally I fold this. Like 6, I raise. 5, I fold.
Yeah, I wouldn't ever fold. Like, you've got a 43 VPIP player. Okay, it might just be a reg that's running like hot and playing a lot of hands. They're from Croatia, right? But they could easily be a fish as well. And
Mm.
you've got to be involved with fives. Small blind against button, one way or the other. That's true in theory, but it's even more true in practice. I don't mind cold calling. I don't mind three betting. Here's a tip if you're three betting. There were two factors there. One is villain looks a bit fishy. Okay, let's set out a second here. Just a couple of quick tips. Not too much to say, but a few things.
Sit out?
Yeah, just for a sec. Okay, bring up the fives hand.
Pocket 5.
So small blind facing button open, 43 VPIP, in it to win it, right? So I'm
Oh
fine
my
with
God.
I'm fine with call. And never look at that. Never look at that. Look at the big blind. What do you see?
Oh, VPIP 43.
That's the
Oh,
button.
3, but it's 29. Yeah.
Look at the big
Huh?
blind.
A big blind, okay.
Look at
5% 3
Don't worry about the stats. What do you see when you glance at the player? Not the stats, not the HUD, but just at the table. What do you notice?
is Chinese. Short stack.
Short stack, right? So that's a recreational player. And
Yeah.
when that player is a reg, there's less incentive to cold call and get involved with a three-way pot. And when it's a recreational, there's more incentive to do that. So the way I would lean here is I would cold call the fives out the small blind every time the big blind looks like a passive recreational. And I would three bet the hand when you've got a more aggressive regular or something behind you, or just a reg behind you. And that's how I'd make the decision. If you're three betting, you can be flexible with your sizing. You don't have to go 11 when you're three betting against a recreational on button. You can drop the sizing a bit. You're just trying to isolate them anyway. Maybe get a fold from the bottom of their range. I think 11.5 isn't quite optimal with fives. Like, you can just tweak it a little bit there, go a bit smaller with that hand. It's not going to matter. Just exploitatively, but you need to be involved there. The hand is plus EV.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready to get scolded today.
I'm not
Force.
really in the scolding mood. I'm kind of like, I've been battling. I was battling my boiler last night, and I thought it was like, it's really cold in Scotland right now. Like, it's very, very cold, and I thought the boiler had broken. I was about to get some guy out to fix it at like 10 o'clock at night and all that. Then I managed to fix it. So I've just been like stressing about that and then rushing about all morning. So I'm just chilling now. Not in a scolding mood. How can you make assumptions they're 43 VPIP off 29 hands? I'm not. I'm just reading the stat on the screen. The stat on the screen tells you what their VPIP has been. It doesn't tell you what their VPIP is. But the higher that number is, the higher their VPIP likely is. But we are willing to accept that it could just be a reg running good, like I said. At no point did I say, I am assuming it's their literal VPIP, right? It's just an indicator.
Yeah.
And the higher the number, the higher our EV will be on average. Although sometimes it will just be a decent player running hot and playing more hands. So it's gradable. It's not black and white. It's not binary.
Three betting me. Thinking both. Okay.
Hello, Accrual Game. Welcome on Twitch.
Can call this. Oh, okay. No, I cannot. Doozy again, this guy. Oh, okay. I never want to like to play this orange table, splash pot.
Yeah, I feel like everyone hates them, actually.
Mm. It's just like a lot more gamble. I mean, he trying to hunt me down, this guy that marked yellow. This guy can raise fish forever. Oh, it just fold. Okay.
Yep, so ace jack off's a mix. in theory, it's like one of those hands you can call or raise, but just 3-bet that in late position against recreationals always.
Yeah. Oh. Card debt 3.
Here we go. 3-3 month. Let's do
Okay,
it.
let's try.
Break even open. Yeah, that's fine.
Bring even open.
You're allowed to do break even kind of crazy stuff.
Really? I thought it was like at least 5. Like, oh,
Yeah, but
this is a knit. Okay, I just range by this. Mean raise pre. Okay, not bluffing. Fold, 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 fold. I have a spade. Okay, he fold.
and we won a
I
pot
win.
with pocket threes, so that's a good omen for Carrot Corner's Black Friday sale. 33% off, guys. The biggest discount we have ever done on any of our stuff. Excludes private coaching. It's the only thing you can't get for that discount. And it's live from
Private coach.
by private coaching I just mean one-to-ones with me, like paid one-to-ones with me.
Okay, he's short stack. He's thinking 32. What are you thinking about? Oh my God. Oh my God.
So sad.
What a waste of energy. Steals.
How long should each session be to avoid autopilot, says Yonaka83? How do I recognize I play my C game in real time? I'll answer that right after the send.
Interesting. Can I raise this? Okay. Showdown value, no heart. I just check. I actually don't know what to do. I bet 1. I just bet 1. It's fold.
Okay, why did you bet 1?
I feel like he bet whatever he bet, I have to fold. Why not I just being the one aggressive, and if he raised me, I just fold.
Okay, so I disagree that if he bets, you have to fold. First off,
Okay.
let's review the hand.
Can I play this or?
Yep. Always play a playable hand, and we review after. Okay, so have a look at this. So good thought process on turn, like you're very mediocre, you have showdown value, but it's not really the sort of hand you want to turn into a bluff. You're blocking a lot of folds. I think check is good. On the 3 river, you need to just keep it basic and assess your equity. And like if you're not value betting and you're not bluffing, I don't want you betting. Because if villain has a better hand, they're going to call, and you're going to lose one big blind that you just don't have to lose. Like if villain has 7s or something here, they're going to call, you're going to lose one big blind. They might call with like ace king, by the way, sometimes, and it might like be a value bet. I don't actually think your play's horrible, like the one big blind, but I'd rather if we're betting one big blind, then we think we have a thin value hand or a bluff, and you don't have either, right? You have a hand that's right in the middle. It's got a ton of showdown value. It's beating any ace king, ace queen without a heart. If villain had a heart, they're likely betting flop or turn by now. You actually have a ton of showdown here. I think you have the best hand 50% of the time, something like that. If you check and they bet, they're saying they have a flush, yeah?
Yeah.
But they didn't bet flop and they didn't bet turn. So what do you think about the line check, check, bet? Generally speaking, on this board. Or check, check, bet in general is quite overbluffed, right? But on this board, it's going to be really overbluffed because for them to have a heart that they didn't want to bet earlier is unlikely. They're under the gun, yeah? Or they're hijack. So
Hijack.
it's not like they have that many offsuit random low hearts anyway. So I think if villain bets the river, you're just going to see ace high or king queen or something enough, and you should be calling here, not folding. But you're making an assumption that you need to fold to a river bet because you're not assessing the river properly. You're not assessing whether you have a bluff catcher and whether it's overbluffed, underbluffed. Remember, we did a lesson on that, right? Number 2 that we did on stream. You're just looking at your hand strength and thinking, I don't like my hand. And that's like the kind of old thought process that we're going to drive out of your game. If you check the river and you face a bet, you're facing a polarized action. And with a pair, you have a bluff catcher here after this little action goes in. So you should be thinking about whether you could check call. But even if you can't check call the river, even if the river's a check fold, the river's still a check because you don't have a value bet and you don't have a bluff. So I don't want you betting small for any other reason than bluffing, like a cheap bluff, right, which can be good, or a thin value bet. I think it's a polarization error to bet one big blind here. A very minimal one because you're only betting a big blind, but I still think it's a polarization error because the hand's a medium. That makes sense?
Yeah,
cool.
Makes sense.
Cool. All right, let's jump back in. So how long should each session be to avoid autopilot? So I recommend that students play for like 50 minutes to an hour, then take a 10-15 minute break and get up and walk about or make a coffee or do something. I don't like the sedentary 3-hour grind zombie mode sessions that people do. Like, you're not a teenager in the basement playing a computer game. Get a grip of yourself. You're trying to be a serious competitor, you know? Take it seriously. Don't just sit there and rot away into your gaming chair. Come on, guys. Get out the basement. Also, how long should have been playing prior to this? I know she's newer and the other guy played a lot of tournaments. Yeah. How long would you say you've been taking poker seriously for?
1 year.
Right. Not long at all. And I think you've done very well to get to where you're at in a year. And I think your progress is obviously going to accelerate a ton now that you're doing the series. Yep. How many in the pool this time of day, asks Figaro on Twitch? I don't know, actually. Probably quite a lot, because this is a very global pool, so you have people in all time zones.
Oh, okay. Flat call. Flat call. Have a draw. Mm-hmm. Now I'm open-ended. Interesting. Do I just win here a lot? Check.
So I think that's a
Oh.
really well played hand. It's a really good thought process on the river. You do win a lot on the river, I think. Like, not a lot, but like a decent amount of the time. But let's review this. I'll show you like the best question you can ask yourself on the river here. The best thing you can
I've
ask.
heard it. Wait. Oh. Ah. Okay, I fold. Not my board. No one's betting. Okay. Where is it? This one, right? Can you see this?
Yep, it's good. So check call and flop. I'm guessing you're just checking like default checking range in this sort of situation. Yeah, that's fine. Looks like a recreational player again, high VPIP. I just hope you're noticing that as you're entering the hand, right? That you are against the fish here. That you should be noticing that at the very beginning of the hand. Turn, we check, they check back. On the river, I do think we're very low down our range. And I think in theory, you know, so many other things have got there in our range, and probably we're in the sort of spot in theory where when you bet here, villain is meant to recognize that, you know, a seven is a bluff catcher, sixes is a bluff catcher, nines is a catcher. And it's really hard for you to be bluffing this spot. It's not easy at all after you check call half pot and flop. So theory wise, I think what you want to notice there is that you are right down near the bottom of your range, right? You don't have a lot of worse hands than this, other than like ace six or something,
Yeah.
and or maybe king six. And so when that's the case in theory, it's generally going to be the case that you can start bluffing with hands that do win at showdown, and your opponent's expected to fold better hands at a good enough frequency now because they're meant to react to that fact that you just like don't have that much air and you're not over bluffing here and blah blah blah. Now, in reality, a key question I'd ask against the fish, in particular against the human, is how many better hands than mine are they likely to fold for certain action sequences, right? For certain bet sizes. And I just think after turn goes check, check, a fish with this sort of VPIP is going to just call many of the hands that beat you. And I think the fold equity
Yeah.
will be against the hands that beat you specifically. The fold equity will be not as good as it should be. So the question you want to ask here exploitatively is, how often does villain fold the hands that beat me? And if the answer is not very often, then whatever bet size you're thinking about is just not good. But in theory, I do think that you could, bet B80 here and villain's indifferent with a 10 now. And would probably have to fold nines at a high frequency and an 8 at a high frequency. Not an 8, sorry, that's trips. But I just don't think in reality that's happening. And so I like the check,
Yeah.
and I do think you win fairly often, maybe 25% of the time, something like that. And that's better than burning money with a bluff in an underfolded spot against a fish. So I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, especially I don't have a spade
Yeah, I
also.
don't really care about that so much. I think you're focusing a bit too much on that. I think that's a bad habit you've picked up. Like, yes, if you have a spade, generally it's better, but like your opponent didn't bet the turn, so they don't have a flush anyway at these stakes, right? They just don't have a flush very often at all. So you blocking a spade isn't that important. Okay, you could make an argument like they might call me with nines with a spade as a bluff catcher because it's a good blocker, but not nines without a spade. But that's probably not even really happening at this level either. So sure, like to some extent in principle, that's right. But does that really swing EV here? Is that really a big factor? I don't think it is. I think it's more just like how many better hands does my opponent fold? That's such a safe, watertight question to ask when you're considering bluffing. How many better hands does the opponent fold to my sizing? That, like, honestly, you can't go wrong if you ask that question. And that's a question that encompasses theory and exploitative play as well. It's a very, very useful question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a fish, he's a calling station, I think. Would just call me
Exactly. You're very likely to get called by the hands that beat you, and you're going to win against like most of the folding range anyway. So I think it's not a spot where you do the GTO thing and calibrate your range and start identifying the bottom and always bluffing or something. I don't think you need to do that here. Yeah.
This has to raise. Oh, he wanna raise. He didn't raise. I raise. What is 16? Okay. Okay. Queens. Everyone just fold.
I know we're very card dead today. Like we're not getting much action, but like the spots you're getting, you're handling very well on the whole. A very good start to this session. You can try Clanty style in the river and just rip 10x pot. Yeah, when Clanty made videos in this pool, he was doing a lot of stuff like that. You need to appreciate though that as you get to 10x pot and you're against some unknown recreational, you just never know, right? Like they can be trapping turn at some frequency, and when you go 10x pot, you're needing, well, you're risking 10 to win one, right? So 10 into 11, that's how much fold equity you need. It's a hell of a lot, and you know that means it can never be amazing if there's like some chance that you need very close to 100% fold equity basically for it to be good, and there will just be random traps and slow plays sometimes. So yes, that will get through a ton. When it doesn't, it's an absolute disaster. Maybe it is winning, I don't know, but I don't think it's something that we really need to work on right now.
I'm just gonna raise this.
We will.
I think the all-in only works for people who think.
Mhm. I mean, I think when they have a really capped range, it works very well. The question is it better than check? Because it needs to actually exceed its fold equity target, right, by quite some distance in order to be better than check. Because check is capturing some amount of the pot, for sure.
I try. What's my 3-bet? 14%. What is range? Okay, that worked.
Struans makes a good point about that ace deuce hand, that ace deuce blocks the ace checkbacks on the four flush board and gives villain a bit more like queen jack, king queen that they can bluff with. Yeah. Yep, it's a very winning call, like, exploitatively though. When people go check bet on wet runouts, they very rarely have value, and they take too much air to the river. We see this in grade E of the Carrot Poker School, which you should do in between grades 2 and 3, by the way, generally, not after grade 3.
Interesting. That's very interesting. Okay, 10. Queen. Oh my god.
Okay, let's review that one. Andrew says, hey, from 4 a.m. in the States, friends, get after it. She's sup, bro.
After this.
Hello, Andrew. Welcome. Thanks for joining us at this awful hour in the morning. What are you doing up at 4 a.m.? Like, that's the time where it's absurd if you're still up, and if you're just getting up, it's also absurd. So, like, which is it? Jack 9, we just 3-bet against a fish there, yeah? Love it. Absolutely love it. Great stuff.
Same? Well, not the same, but yeah. Yeah, that's the same guy that at Jack 9, a 3-bet.
Yep. Awesome 3-bet. Like, I don't think you would have done that a few weeks ago. Like, now you're doing it pure. This is really good stuff. This is what we want to see.
Oh, I 3-bet Jack 9.
No, you wouldn't have, Shu. You would not have. Just kidding. Okay, fair. Right, so let's review Ace King. We start with check. That's good. And the only point I would make on flop is, did you consider raising? And what could be the merits of raising?
I did consider raising, but I still have a lot of equity of ace and kings and queen. So I can also keep his bluffing. I mean, he's not folding this, but I know I shouldn't think about that. But yeah. I think I beat his range a lot for like
I think there's some hybrid properties to raising. Do you know what that means?
As you mean like as a value denial kind of?
And bluff. So if you imagine that villain has sixes, he's going to fold to a check raise some frequency, right? Decent frequency, I would think, if not always.
Yeah.
If villain has ace queen, he's going to call, and you're going to win at showdown some frequency of the time just by like checking thereafter. And if villain has, I don't know, just like 6-5, they're going to fold, but like they can't hit a 6 or a 5 now. So there are value denial and bluff properties to racing the flop here with ace king. I think it's a pretty decent line against someone that's leading too wide. When you're on the flop, sometimes showdown value can be a little bit more murky because we don't know how often we're actually getting to showdown. Like if the runout's brick here, we don't really know how often we're going to lose the pot to getting bluffed or something like that. So the fold equity, even against queen 8, is valuable, right? Like if villain folds queen 8 here, it's valuable. I don't agree that you want to keep bluffs in, that you're desperate to keep bluffs in here. You don't mind it, but I don't think you're like desperate to keep them in. I think getting a fold from a bluff is also a good result at this point in the hand because you can lose the bluffs here as well. So when you say like, I want to keep worse in, blah, 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 I want to like have a lot of showdown. Yeah, that's generally a great way of thinking. But when you have nut redraw and good outs and stuff, those are actually factors that work in both directions. So like, of course, it helps you call that you can hit a queen, but it also helps you bluff raise, semi bluff raise, hybrid raise as well, because you're making a big pot, and sometimes you're going to have the absolute nuts in that big pot. So that's a factor that plays on both branches, right? The raise and the call branch. It's not just a factor towards calling. But yeah, I think call is great as well. I think both plays are fine on flop. And I'd expect the recreational to be stabbing away too wide. you check call the turn. I really like this as well, because you have not redrawn, you're already beating bluffs. So when you have like nutty redraw, you're beating bluffs. Villain looks volatile. I'm not folding. I like call there. The only thing on river is, do we want to lead? I don't think so. I don't think there's enough like worse hands calling. I think we just want to check call, let villain continue to bluff and merge sometimes as well. They may even value bet a king they've just hit. So love that hand, really good hand. Gonna give it a 10 from an accuracy standpoint again, but thought process coaching, just pay attention to raising flop. It's not the case that we need to have no showdown value to bluff raise the flop. We can take hands with some showdown value that also have these other nutty properties, draw properties, and we can raise those as well, as long as we're not raising like, 10-9 or something, right? That would be the polarization mistake, but ace king isn't.
Okay.
Cool. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I agree with Justin here, Insurrection, that the printing part of playing these pools is just 3-betting in position. It's just 3-betting big blind against small blind. It's 3-betting button against cutoff. Absolutely. Jim says, sorry, Jerkamarek, if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, I apologize, says, like your work, it's helping me so much. Really glad to hear that. Is opening 2BB a standard on GG? I don't really care for standards. It's just a good sizing. People have auto fold charts. They're not paying attention. They're not reacting well. They're overfolding. 2x is just good. From what I've realized, it's printing to downsize your 3-bets. It depends on the configuration, really, right? But in position, yeah, small 3-bets are going to be good. Early morning gym routine, yeah, you're the... I would have thought so. You're carrot corner viewer, right? You're type A.
Calling station. Oh, that's interesting.
Patrick Antonius in the chat, probably not the Patrick Antonius, wants some review of the Cash Game World Championship. Sure, I'd love to do that. Or maybe do that with like Clanty or Ben or someone that's really theory good as well. That would be fun.
Check raise. Do I have his bone hand? Now I have showdown. Or I just check this. 7-5. Okay. Okay.
Okay, let's review. Interesting one. Very interesting one.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see if I can play this. Interesting. Interesting. 7-5. Yeah. This one. 7-5. Wow, so lucky he was 7.
So you isolate against a stationary tagged fish with 5-4. Love it. Don't worry, guys, about like, oh, our hand's like a bluff. We shouldn't be bluffing pre. Don't think about pre as value in bluffing when you're 3-betting in position. See it as you're a border collie, right? You're a sheepdog. And you're just herding the sheep into the pen that you want the sheep to be in, right? You're just like, you like that analogy, Shu? Like dogs?
The Schäferhund?
Yeah, so we're doing that. We're herding. Now the sheep is in the pen post flop. We've got them where we want them. We flopped the open ender. Let's bet. We love fold equity. We like pot building. We get check raised. Yeah, let's call. Awesome. On the turn, villain checks. Give me your thought process there.
I think when they check raise and then they check, I just think if they have really good hand, they will bet. And when they check, they probably don't have anything that I think the pool in general overfolded if after check raise and then you bet again, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't have anything.
Yeah, it's
Nothing is
interesting,
folded.
right? Because in theory, they're meant to fold way more than MDF, like that mathematical fold frequency. because their range is supposed to be dog shit. Like they've checked after raising. They're not meant to put lots of good hands in that node. The main hands that play that way were speculative bluffs on flop that missed turn and have to give up now because they're in an unfavorable world and they can't bluff with nothing. So it's normal to have absolutely heaps of showdown of fold equity, in that node. And it's very normal to make small bets. Now, I really like your turn sizing here. And there's a reason for that. What does villain do when they raise flop? They polarize a bit, right? So when they check turn, their range here as a recreational is mostly like Queen X that's check calling, bluffs that are giving up, and then, I don't know, like the odd trap, let's say. If they have Queen X, you're probably not getting a station to fold a queen here ever, or hardly ever, so like we don't want to bet big. If they have nothing, we don't need to bet big to make them fold Jack 10 that just missed, right? Jack 10 of clubs or something. And we don't want to create the SBR where they can jam ace queen or something. We don't want to encourage them to go all in with ace queen when we've got an open ender. We are reopening here, but because we're reopening really small SBR wise, we're not yet in that danger zone where they can jam on us and deny all that equity. I don't think that'll happen often anyway, but your sizing's perfect here because you're catering for the fact that they have a somewhat polarized range that's got a lot of just auto folds in it, and you don't want to get jammed on. So that sizing is really good. On river, you hit a 4. I do agree there's some showdown here. I don't think there's much, but like I could see villain having like ace jack of hearts, ace king of hearts at some frequency, some spew with like ace 3, I don't know. The question again that I want you to ask is the one we talked about earlier, right? So let's practice asking that. Do you remember that key question that I was talking about when it comes to like bluff opportunities on river? Let's assess that there.
Like what better hand will fold?
Yeah, or maybe even more specifically, like how often will the hands that beat me fold to a bluff sizing that I'm picturing?
Yeah, also this, I mean, the 4 is kind of in his range, not my range, right?
Don't worry about this. You're getting
Supposedly.
off track here. Ask and answer that key question.
So either he's trapping me or he's bluffing. If bluffing, I win anyways, I have showdown value. And he's trapping me, he's probably beat me.
So what do you mean by trapping you? What hand are you thinking about when you say he's trapping me?
Like a straight or a set.
Okay, I think he way more likely just has a queen than those hands.
Oh, okay.
So it's not true that he's that polarized. Like he's just checked twice. He's raised flop. Fish can do that with top pair. Then he's checked twice. It's not the case that he's fully polarized here. That assumption he's either trapping me or I win is not true. He's also beating you by just having like queen 10 here sometimes. Or maybe some other merge, like he hit a 7 randomly, or he has 8s and just randomly raised flop. That can happen too. But the question I need you to answer is, how's your fold equity against the hands that beat you? Like against the queen, a pocket pair. Like that's rare. The pocket pair is kind of rare, but like against the queen, for example, like what's your fold equity like?
They're not going to fold a queen.
Yeah, it's just 0, right? And you do beat some hands. So yeah, no, I think you just check. I don't think this is a good bluff spot against the station, but it's worth asking, what are the hands that beat me and what's my fold equity like against them? Honestly, I think you'll get heroed by way worse than the queen here as well. I think it's a really bad bluffing spot, but it's important to ask that question. When you say, oh, this card's kind of good for my opponent, like he checked the river, so like does he really have a straight here? Like not very often. Like I don't think that's a factor. I just think that's like getting derailed, right? I want you to make a list this week of the things that derail you from like the right thought process. So far we've had I want to bet because I don't want to face a bet today, right? We've had that one. We've had this card's better for his range than mine. Like that is something that can be relevant, but I don't think we're at a level yet where we're assimilating it properly into our thought process. I think that should just be left on the shelf for now. Like don't worry about it until we're more advanced.
Also, yeah, I marked him as a station. It's a calling station.
Right.
So I know in the past I tried to bluff him, he just called me like 7. He
Like to bluff here, you would really need villain to either have a lot of hands between a 4 and a queen and be folding them, or be folding a queen sometimes, and just none of these things are true. So always just ask that question, what are the better hands in his range than mine, and do they fold to X sizing? And that's all you have to do here. Anything else is actually detracting from the proper thought process. Like if you were in a job interview, right, and I was the employer and you were the interviewee, and I was like, how many months have you been working in your previous role? And you said 8 months. That would be like the best way to answer that question, right? Like it wouldn't be appropriate to like start thinking about other random things and throwing them into the answer. They would make the answer worse. If you were like 8 months and at the start of that it was blah blah blah, it's like, well, he hasn't asked that yet. So really, poker's doing that too. Poker's interviewing you, it's asking you a question, and on this river it's asking you, is it higher EV to check or is it higher EV to bet? And if you start talking about the 4 being better for his range than yours, you're not going to get to the answer in time because you're just getting irrelevant now. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Or maybe he could fold a 7 if I bet big.
Yeah, maybe.
on
And
the
now we're grasping at straws because we're saying, I can picture one hand he folds that he might not even have very often, and I don't even know if he folds it, and I have to risk lots of money to make him fold it. So it's just clearly not right to bluff here.
Yeah. Okay. Continue?
Absolutely. It's a very exciting morning in the Clark household because a new dishwasher got installed.
Oh. No need to wash dishes. Can call this. Also,
Do you want to know what my most recent guilty pleasure is that I do?
team fight tactic.
Actually, yes, but like I'm getting kind of bored. I don't like this set very much. I don't know. Maybe I've just grown out of that game. I'm not enjoying it as much as I used to. But yes. But also, I watched this guy on YouTube called Japanese Salary Man. This guy that lives in Japan and he like has this corporate job where he has to work like 13 hours a day every day for like a horrible boss and commute all the time. And he's basically just depressed and he just films his life and it's like him either moaning about work or eating food. Like all different food. I love Japanese food. So I mainly watch it for the food, but I also, it makes me kind of grateful for like my life. I don't know, I'm kind of addicted to it. It's a brutal lifestyle. Okay, I'm really unhappy with this hand. Like super unhappy with this. I was distracting you, but I want you to tell me. I want you to analyze. You need to analyze this. It's a big deal.
You want me to bet the turn?
No,
right?
not necessarily. I want you to analyze the river. So this goes 3-way pot.
Oh, the river.
3-way pot. Check, 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 all the way to the river. What's going on here?
They probably don't have much.
And how often are you going to win by checking?
They could have maybe like, I don't know, pocket 6, pocket 7.
They could, but how zoom out, how
Or
strong
maybe like, sorry,
how strong are they on average?
not strong.
So if they're really weak on average, there's no need to just posit the times when they have the top of their range. Like if 6s and 7s are the top of their range and they might not even have it, their range is really weak. So we don't want to get distracted by the fact that like one of them might have 6s. That's just a bad outcome, right? When that happens. Now, what's your check EV?
Low, jack high.
0? Yeah? Should we just round it down to 0? Let's just say you don't win.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't win.
I mean, it's 0 point something very microscopic, right? But let's just say it's 0. Okay, pick a bet size now. Just give me a bet size. A candidate bet size.
On the river? Half pot?
Okay, how often does that need to get through to be better than, or to be as good as checking?
Like 25%?
No.
What is it? 75%?
No. So, right, we've got to do some pot odds. Okay, rewind, guys. Basic pot odds class. Let's get this done. This is essential stuff. So, if you bet half pot, there's 2 in the middle and you risk 1, right? So if you get your 1 back out of the pot, you break even. The pot becomes 3 when you put the 1 into the pot. So 2 becomes 3 when you bet 1. So if you get 1 out of 3 back, you break even. So you need 33.323% fold equity to break even with a half pot bet. 33%. But the pot size bet, you need 50. And what you're thinking of when you say 25% is if you face the bet of half pot, you would need 25% because there'd be an extra unit in there. But when you make the bet of half pot, there's a 33 fold equity target.
Hmm.
For both players
Okay.
to be folding, for the combined enemy to be folding 33% of the time, you need both players to be folding just under 60%. You need each player to be folding just under 60%. Because if they both folded 60%, then you'd get 36% combined fold equity. Now, I think if you go half pot, each player folds easily more than that. I think they fold 65% of the time. You're going to get like 40% combined fold equity. That's winning for sure. All bet sizes are winning. But I'd go bigger because they're very capped. And when villain is capped, the bigger you go, the better the return on investment usually when you're bluffing, especially in these spots that are not adversarial. This is not a spot people are like, I'm coming for you, because it's three-way and they just don't care. So I would like to see a pot size bet here. You risk 1 to win 1, 50% required fold equity, right? That means each opponent is going to need to fold like 70% of the time ish. Easy. They're probably folding over 80%. So this is a spot you've got to start seeing as important, and you cannot afford to switch off in a spot like this. If you switch off in a spot like this, you may well lose this race to 25 NL. Okay, so this is our number one mission. Pay attention to cap ranges post-flop. Look at the spots where nobody wants it. Bluff in these spots. Get hungry for these spots. These spots matter. You can't afford to coast your way to a win rate in this game by just letting Jack High go to showdown. You can't afford to do that. You've got to beat rake. I was asked in the chat there, where do you want your students at 10 to 25 NL as far as BB per 100 goes, says Andrew. And it's a very pertinent question to this point. I want them winning at 4, 5, 6. I want to be greedy here. I want them winning at a really good clip. And to do that after the 11 BB rake, we need to pulverize the pool. And we need to bludgeon them in all these little spots. We really do. Okay? Vulture. Swoop down, take the carcass, leave.
Okay.
It's like a dead bird on the ground and you're just like grabbing that. Lovely dead bird for breakfast.
I thought it's like taking a candy from a 3-year-old kid.
Yeah, that's really cruel though. Now I've got a kid. I'm really like, I don't like that metaphor anymore. Why would you do that?
Okay, sorry.
Like, he gets mad. He takes my phone. Sometimes if I leave it, he loves my phone. So grab my phone and try and press all the buttons. If I take it off him, he gets so mad.
That's still value added? I don't know. Thinking. Just thinking. A jack? Pocket 10? No, we folded.
Review, please.
Yes.
Analyze the river for me. So you bet flop, they call, you check turn, they check river. Analyze the river spot, please.
Just want to have some crying call, maybe from like pocket 9s, pocket 8s, and
What's the main thing that you get called by here? Oh, was he small blind? Yeah. Okay.
oh, yeah,
That's why you're
that's
thinking
more
about
like
9.
it.
Is that why you're thinking about 9s and 8s specifically?
Yeah,
Okay.
like pocket pair, maybe a jack,
Yeah.
jack 10. Yeah.
Okay, what's the most important concept for deciding how big to value bet?
The equity of my hand.
Good. And how high do you think that is and why?
Medium strength hand, middling hand.
As in like 50% equity check or like higher than that?
I think a little bit higher than 50.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's actually very high. And I want you to pay really close attention to the action sequence here. What is the key action that caps villain's range in this hand?
Check the turn check and the river check.
Not the turn check, because you bet the flop, right?
Yeah, I bet the flop.
So
he
he's
didn't
checking
raise,
turn
yeah.
procedurally. but the river check is not a procedural check. So if he had king, queen, king 10, king 9, what would you expect the pool to usually do on the river?
Lead and bet.
So I actually think your hand's like 80% here. And if your hand's 80%, you can go bigger. It's not just that you want a crying call. You can be bluffing. You can so easily be bluffing. You can have ace 4. You can have all kinds of hands, right? That are bluffing here. And
so I can 75.
you can go bigger. Yeah, you can go towards 75% pot with queens. Because all villain needs to think to call is that you could be bluffing. It's not the case that like if you go b75 here, they're never going to call a jack or pocket eights. They're still going to bluff catch those hands sometimes. And I'm just very confident in this pool that you have the best hand, 80% plus here. So I'm going to size up a bit here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want you thinking more about like what's villain's line and range and hand reading more, like range reading villain better, paying more attention to their line and then asking that what's my equity question before you size, rather than jumping straight to a really weak hand, guessing at a size it will call. That's not as solid as just like analyzing equity and picking the right size.
Yeah.
You came across that Japanese salaryman video last night? Alex, that's every Japanese salaryman video. His life is like, got home late, too tired to do dishes, make frozen rice, make sauce, pour powder over frozen rice, eat rice, go to bed for 2 hours. Why is it morning already? Have to go to work. So depressed. Maybe I'll drink tonight when I come home. Like, this is it. Poor guy. But now he might be rich from YouTube subs. I don't know. His channel's, what did the Gen Zs say when something's doing well? It's popping off or something, yeah? Is that what they say? They say low key, don't they, Shu? They say I'm low key enjoying this. Yeah?
Juicy, this guy trying to hunt me.
I hate low key, guys. If you want to annoy me, say bro and say low key.
What do I have here? Nothing. He's not betting. No fold. He bet. Oh, he didn't bet. Check again. Oh, he betting? Oh, he's betting.
Did you consider bluffing the turn, like leading the turn there at all?
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't, but I didn't have the club, so I don't want to like always like bluffing and I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I did consider. I did consider.
So obviously, if you have a club or a straight draw or something, it's really automatic, right? That you definitely can bluff. But even if you don't, you might want to consider like how this pool plays. Now, I don't think you have to lead the turn there or anything. I just think it performs better in practice than in theory. Normally, when you're turn probing, there's some standard about what you need. Like you need some pair draw, you need some straight draw, like usually. But on that board, I really do expect them to be checking a pretty underprotected range, and yeah, you might be able to get away with like an exploitative 1/3 probe. If you go small, you might get away with that. That's probably the nut play there, the highest EV line is just probe small. If you probe third pot, how much fold equity do you need for it to be 0 EV?
A third. 25%?
Good. You're going to get that. I think you're going to get more than that. And you've still got pair outs. You can still bink the queen on the river and win sometimes. So honestly, while it's a bit cheeky theory-wise, I think you can lead the turn there. It's fine.
Oops, 17.
Sure, how much can I trust you to be left alone on a stream? If I go make a coffee? Without getting me cancelled or saying anything inappropriate, what do you think?
Wait, after this,
Okay,
after
okay.
this. You want to go now?
No. I want to do eights first.
Oh, here. See what he does.
What do you think, chat?
Raise? I'll just start promoting my Twitch
Yeah,
channel.
you can do that.
Yeah, I can do. I knew it. Re-raise? What is call here? Okay. Keep on bluffing. Checking. Checking his flush draw. Two pair? He doesn't have shit. If he doesn't have anything, should I? I'll just bet this. No, if he raised me, that would be interesting. What is the nuts here? 2-5? That's very interesting. Wow, he could have 2-5, right? Raise jack. What? His value raising?
No, he's bluffing. I think.
That's a bluff.
I
Why
think
did he just
it's
call?
very bad, but I think it's a bluff. It's very, very bad in this pool. I don't know.
What? You can
Right.
just call your.
Review, please.
Okay. Uh,
Play
can
this
I
hand.
super?
Play
No,
this hand, and then we'll review.
I'm gonna raise
I
this.
don't want you
actually.
folding hands that you wouldn't normally fold because we're about to review. I want you to play normally.
Okay, I have my ace.
100
Fine,
VPIP
fold.
fish, and you want to fold Queen Jack opposite? Like, do you want to just throw away
Five
money?
hands. You just 5 hands.
Doesn't matter. Still a fish. He's likely to be 100 VPIPs hard. I don't think I've had 100 VPIP over 5 hands very often. He's probably too loose. We don't know for sure, but probably. Right. Pocket eights.
Yeah, he tried to grab all in.
Right. So on flop, do you have any like reads or anything here? You played this guy before, or is he just like an unknown reg looking guy?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I mean, seems normal stats. Yeah.
So
I just.
on the flop, you considered 3-betting for like half a second, and you acted so quickly there. Like you just you chose slow play very, very quickly. And I'm not saying I
Yeah.
hate slow playing this spot, but
Yeah. Because you said fast pace, slow play. Now he's raising me. He's quite polar, right? He's like saying I have like
no,
good hands, so I can slow
not
play.
really. No,
That's what I thought.
not really, because on 8-4-3, a lot of his bluffs are flush draws, 5-6, etc.
Okay.
And I do think like 3-betting against those is pretty good. It depends, like whether like in theory you can do either, right? You can 3-bet or you can call, because the solver's moderately aggressive. It's the right amount of aggressive, and I think you can do either. Honestly, in these games, I would lean towards fast playing on any board like this that's a bit wetter, because generally the pool's bluffs, okay, this guy is an outlier, right? He's not normal for pool, but generally pool's bluffs are going to be higher equity. They're going to be gut shots, straight draws, flush draws, and their value hands. Like if he has 3-4 here, like you are just destroying him, right? Like he's dead, but there's so many turns that are going to kill action. So it's not all about getting paid by value. It's not all about villain bluffing. Your instinct when you have the nuts shouldn't just be how do I get the most from bluffs, because that's currently what you're prioritizing. If villain's over bluffing or has a lot of low equity bluffs, as we've talked about in the cheat sheet, you can slow play, but I need you to start doing that analysis. Like, how high equity are his bluffs? What's his range like here? How often will he have absolutely nothing? How often will he have higher equity bluffs? How often will he have value? Because against value or a higher equity draw, fast play is a lot better here. 3-betting flop's a lot better. Against his hand, sure, slow play is better, but how many hands like that do you see? How typical is it? I prefer fast playing this spot, all else being equal, right? But in theory, you can do either. I really do. Because I think there's a lot of times it goes check, check on turn because they don't bet their draw again because they're passive, or it goes check, check on turn because their 2-pair just got a horrible turn or something like that, or sometimes they're raising like top pair here too. So like with the 8s, I really don't mind the slow play that much, but if you had pocket 4s, they can have a load of combos of 8x now. They can raise a bit more mergy here for value, blind versus blind, wide ranges. So I'm definitely not going to slow play pocket fours or pocket threes. Pocket eights, I have some sympathy for it. That makes sense?
Yeah.
On the river, I have,
He's just
yeah, and the river's weird. Like, I know this is hard, but try to analyze villain's range before like any of this craziness happens when you're just considering whether to bet river. Try and analyze what you think villain might have there. They check raise flop and then they check back turn. Ace comes on river. What kind of hands do they have?
You mean before they raise?
Before they no, before you even bet, right? So just when you just
Before I bet. Miss flush draw, and I mean he could have an ace, yeah, and he could have like pocket nines, just like check raise flop, and didn't bet the turn. Miss straight draw,
Yeah, so it's a lot of stuff like they've just hit an ace. Maybe they've hit a queen on the turn, right? Maybe. But I think they'll bet that sometimes, but maybe. So the question is like, if you check there, what's that better against? That's better against air, ace X probably as well, because you might get check raise in against ace X that value bets. So check raising river is an option here too because you're out of position. To me, the river is more of a slow play spot than the flop, because on the flop their draws still have all this equity and they could have like one pair that's bet calling, like a pair of eights that's bet calling. But on the river, I feel like the ace is going to polarize them a bit more to like just hitting top pair with ace five or something, or having some kind of bluff. But I think it's close because this pool is quite passive, and I don't hate betting river. I just don't think there's a ton of stuff that's going to call that sizing given villain polarizing earlier. So we just need to think a bit more about fast play, slow play. I still think it's a weakness. I think like low boards, wet boards, out of position, favor fast play for sure, right? Favor fast play on the flop, on turn.
definitely didn't watch the Carol Poker school. He just raised. He has showdown value and he can just call there, easy call, ace jack.
Yeah, I agree. I don't really understand what he's doing. Like, he has a bluff. Does he have a bluff catcher against your river sizing? Yeah, probably. But it's a very good bluff catcher. It blocks a lot of two pair and ace king and stuff like that. So I think he should just call river. I wouldn't use the term showdown value because, like, when you bet the river, all showdown value is kind of the same now, right? Like below two pair, like he just has a bluff catcher. I'd use the term bluff catcher. Showdown value is a term we use when villain hasn't polarized yet, when we're just beating a ton of their range and we're checking or whatever. And bluff catcher is a term we use after villain's polarized and we only beat bluffs. But it's a very good bluff catcher, and so call looks pretty normal. Shove feels really quite wild and like insane, and I don't even know what villain's really saying they have here with this line, like check back turn and then shove river. Yeah. Five deuce. I mean, five deuce is going to bet the turn a ton if it raises flop, and it's four combinations, and who knows if people even call it pre. So yeah.
So my pocket eight would become a bluff catcher after he shot.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think like you're still going to beat like fours or threes. It's very rare that they have that, but like I don't think eights is a bluff catcher. I think eights is more than that. I think they could be shoving some set or river two pair sometimes. It's very, very weird. But the reason I'm not folding eights is mainly just that the guy is repping like four combos that might not exist. He's just got no value range really. So yeah. Definitely not folding there.
Okay.
There's a lot of this like this can of worms idea that like once the can of worms is open, like once you run into someone that can bluff in a spot at these stakes, they're just way overdoing it. Like you're either going to run into someone that's never bluffing, or you're going to run into someone that's like completely out of control and chaotic. That's the sort of two things you run into in this game. So that's why it's good to mark them, know who's capable of this stuff, and then the next time, like 2 weeks later, he's forgotten he's done this against you. He's still got this tendency. You've got the red tag, and you just know to call because they're losing complete control of their frequencies there.
That's crazy. I have never seen this before.
Yeah, I think you're right,
Okay.
Justin, that 4x, 3x, and pocket pair does arrive on river a lot, and that is just not that likely to call. I think we have to check and hope that bluffs in this pool. Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, it could hero call sometimes. I think on this board it's less likely. I think I'd rather check because someone who's capable of merging flop with a 3 or a 4 or pocket sixes is also capable at these stakes of bluffing out on this run out, I think. So I'd rather check against that hand
Mm.
class. But that's just one hand class that Justin's pointing out there. Okay,
Mm.
I'll leave you to promote your. Just play for a bit and we'll see what comes up. And I'll grab a coffee for a few minutes. I'll come back. Remember,
Okay.
remember, we are you're now responsible for not getting the stream cancelled, not saying anything obscene, being behaved. I trust you. I'm trusting you, sure.
Follow me on Twitch.
I'll be back in a sec.
Okay. It's 8-7. Yeah, my Twitch name is Victor underscore Franco underscore. What should I do with this? Just call, right? Okay. Okay, okay. Oh, he's not betting. He's not betting, I'm betting. One bet. Fold it. Okay. I want to have 300 followers this month, hopefully. Maybe I'll get a stream status. That'll be nice. Stream status. Am I card dead? Am I card dead? Jack 5. My God, that guy's really crazy. Shove with ace jack. Faker. Ace, ace. Yeah, fold this. Raise this. Shit, now I want to pee. Pete, come back. I need a pee break. Oh shit, maybe I should have called. Didn't see the other guy called. Okay. Just float here. Float, float. 18 VPIP. 3%. Fold, fold. Yes, yes. Ding. I float. Can raise this. Go, 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 go. Oh my God, huge sizing. Fold this. Ace 5. Ah, fold, 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 fold. Ace jack. Japanese guy. Japanese guy. A 3-bet me? It's a pretty big 3-bet. 4-bet bluff. 4-bet bluff. Small board. Actually, I don't know about this. Ah. just gonna bluff this. Okay. Give up. No. It's okay. Peter gonna scold me now. Maybe I should save that hand for a bit. Maybe I should bet small. Yeah, maybe 4-bet. I should bet small, like 25%. Doozy. Yeah, I bet too big. Too big. It's my raising hand. 3-bet bluff. 3-bet bluff. I think that GTO is probably a check. Or maybe range. Range 25%. B25. My God, what am I doing? Fold? Yeah. Hmm. One. What's everyone's doing? Punish them. Punish, punish, punish. No, he's not punishing. I have a 5. Yeah. I have a 5. Let's fold. Fold.
Okay, I'm back. How are we
I
doing?
said bunch of stuff.
Great. Ace Jack hand needs to be analysed, says Cydrus. Mark this hand for Pete, says Fish Bornagaga. Lost 500 buy-ins, insane, says Justin.
Wait. Oh my God, why is this? No one has anything? Okay. Actually, I'm gonna fold this. Yeah, I go rogue after you left. Where is
Oh
it?
dear. Oh
He's
no,
gone? Oh no,
guys.
he's. I was trying to bluff. Maybe I should bet small. I think I should bet B25 on the
Okay,
flop.
so button. No, small blind raises. We raise small blind. They 3-bet
Yeah.
and we min 4-bet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
As bluff. As bluff.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like pre-flop. It's a bit weird, right? Like it's not so clear that it's a pure bluff, but yes, it's primarily for fold equity. But like you'll be in okay shape when villain calls the 4-bet. They're going to call pocket pairs connectors. Like it's kind of value as well. It's denial. It's all sorts of things. I'd go a bit bigger than min when you're out of position, but against big blind, smaller is okay because they're more polar in theory. But yeah, I'd go a bit bigger than that. On the flop,
Okay.
we bet 763. On those boards, you could just play a lot of check if you want. Like it's not a big deal. You can
Right.
check a lot.
Okay.
You bet.
I think GTO is check. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of check in
Or
GTO, and you're also betting like very big on flop, which is a little bit weird, I would say, for this spot.
actually, four bet pot should be like B25, I think, because the range is like, yeah, we should be
I think you can size
B25.
up a bit on this board. I think you go 33.50, something like that. Like your overpairs are very strong here, and they do want to put a decent amount of money in now. But I just think you should be checking a lot on this texture. Ace Jack feels kind of, medium ish.
Mm.
I think I'd go with like range check flop. Like if you 4 bet or 3 bet and you get like 3 cards between an 8 and a 4 or an 8 and a 3, if they're connected at all, like 763, 764, 854, just go with range check for now. I think it's just easier. I think it's a good simplification. I don't know if I love the big bet here with ace jack too much. Turn, we check and they go all in and we fold. Yeah, I'm okay with turn. But yeah, I think smaller on flop or check, but like, let's just play range check there, and that's fine. Yeah. I don't think the hand's a disaster by any means, but yeah.
But, but I mean, if I have a like overpair, I should bet, right? Just because it's hand, I don't bet. Or
With an overpair, you can check or bet. Like if you're range checking, it means you're checking everything, right? So you should check, and you can check raise an
okay.
overpair here. That's going to do really well. Depends on the overpair.
Mm. Like
Jack,
pocket jacks.
jacks and queens are good check raises. Aces
I think
is
jacks are just all in, no? Free? Not all in?
your four
If I have
bet. No,
jack?
you can just 4 bet normally. You don't have to go all in. You don't have to play that.
Okay.
I mean, there might be some exact chart on GTO Wizard that has that action with jacks, but I don't really care. Like 4 bet's fine.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But let's make that range check. If it's a really low connected board, let's make it range check. We'll range bet a quarter on most other boards. Keep it simple for now in 4 bet pots. And yeah, I do agree that 3/4 with ace jack there's kind of rogue. I don't think it's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can I have a like 10 seconds pee break?
Yeah, I can't deny you that. It's like a human rights thing.
And meanwhile, maybe you can send people my Twitch link or something.
Yep, can do.
Wait, I just mute myself.
This is Shu's own Twitch channel, so she streams on her own quite a bit as well. She's not on Carrot Corner. Check it out. How many hours a week did Shu study, play? Can't talk today. Online this year, I don't know. We'll need to ask her, but we have put in place a minimum 10k hands per week for the race to 25 and L challenge, guys. So she has to play at least that many. I made sure that both her and Jurgen were gonna agree to that before we started, and it's great because like, oh, I'm so excited about the next episode that's getting edited at the moment, or it's been edited actually. It's going to be released soon. That episode is we show their graphs for the first time, like over good samples, like 40, 50k samples, and it's really exciting to see how they're doing. I don't want to spoil it. We're not going to tell them like win rates or anything, Shu, but we are going to reveal that in the next YouTube video.
Threes! Nothing. Do I check raises? Oh, I have evil thoughts. Very evil thoughts. Checked. Oh, I have evil thoughts. Okay, now I don't think I should bluff this. Or? Nah, I check this. If it's a low card, like a 6 or 8, I think I bluff, but no. Bluff too much. And now I have evil thoughts. Oh. Would he fold a king? What is this? I really want to check raise it, or should I just call here? I really don't know. I need to go big. I don't know what I'm doing. Pete, don't scold me. I was giving up, and then here's like, there's opportunity. Oh my God. He has the king, he bet bigger, right? I mean, okay, okay, okay. He got me. He got me. He got me. What he has? I really wonder. Pocket
Okay,
kings?
review, please.
Has to be. After okay, I fold this. I
Did
fold
you
this.
just fold Queen Jack suited?
No, someone bet. I didn't raise. He bet.
No, no, no. Oh, with Queen Jack suited?
Someone bet.
Oh,
Someone raised.
but then you still have a. You should still be playing that.
You mean actual raise?
Yeah, we're just three
Queen
betting
jack
in
suit?
position, right? I mean, that's a GTO three bet. We're always three betting in position with GTO three bets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and make sure you're not missing those. Those are important long term to hit. Cold call, you can three bet. You got to play the hand. It's too high EV.
Oh yeah, queen jack. Yeah, queen jack suited. Yeah, true.
So when I
Very
say
true.
review, please, I'm not saying like sit out immediately. I'm just saying like take care of business and then sit out, right?
Yeah, but I forgot this hand is three
Yeah, it's
bet. Yeah.
very important to three bet that. Very winning thing at these games. In position three bets are printing. We want to make all of the ones that theory makes and then some. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the turn, what's your thought process? You lead half pot here after flop check check.
Uh, he didn't bet the flop, and then the nine is kind of like, 10, 7, 9. So he doesn't have really good hands, and nine is kind of like my range. And then I can have all the, I don't know, sevens, nines, and
Okay, I'll make this a bit
straight.
simpler. What's the reason for
Yeah,
which you bet the turn? One word answer here.
bluff.
Okay. You're aware that threes is showing down for quite a bit of pot share here, right? Because villain has a lot of ace high, ace queen, ace jack, ace king, etc. Right, so threes. So checking is fine here.
Mm.
I think you need to be more polar when you're probing the turn for half pot. If you bet a
Mm.
third, I'd have a bit more sympathy for it. But if you're starting to bluff turn, you don't want to do that with threes. Because again, ask yourself, how likely are the hands that beat you to fold to that action? Villain has a 9, a 10, pocket 8s, a 7, pocket 6s. What's your fold equity like?
Yeah, true.
So
Yeah.
you've really got to get this polarization stuff sorted. Like if you are going to bluff turn for any meaningful sizing, we want a bit of polarization. So if this board was deuce 4 or 5, right, you can bet the hand and it's kind of value and it's fine. It's value denial. You can bet half pot. But on 10, 7, 9, threes is right in the middle to low. It's kind of like your showdown value region. And the reason that it's not sufficient to say, this is my card, therefore I bet, is that it being your card does mean you can bluff more freely. Like it does make your range stronger. And if you have like a jack, you have a hand like jack 5 suited here. Yeah, great bet. Fantastic. You don't need any more than like an over here. You can probably even bet the spot with like queen 6. No problem at all. Because you have a bluff. And you can bluff freely in spots where your range is doing pretty well. And I think it'll be overfolded. But when you have threes, it's not really that clear. Because now you're just winning against most of the hands that fold. And now check is worth more. Right? So that my card, my world thing, it allows you to bluff more freely. It doesn't mean you just bet a random hand in the middle of your range. You still need to be either primarily value betting or bluffing. Now, you did say that you had evil intentions. And this is where I have a bit more sympathy for your play. What were you thinking when you said that?
You mean before I bet the turn?
Yeah,
Or
well, in the turn you were
after?
thinking, you were saying, I've got evil intentions here. Like, what were you imagining when you said that?
It's like he didn't bet the flop. He doesn't really have really good hands, and yeah, I just wanna like bluff and take the pot. So like, yeah, think about bluffing. That's why I said
Yeah, yeah.
evil.
So
Evil.
So you need to always check to see what your showdown value is before you embark on a bluff.
Yeah.
And if you have a middling hand, it doesn't make sense to bluff. Like, again, the better hands question, what better hands fold? Nothing right now, really. Fives and fours, maybe. You're going to have to bluff river. If you bet third, okay, like now getting the fold from ace queen is more economical. You still get the fold from ace queen, you get protection. You still probably get, maybe don't get a fold from ace king or fours or fives anymore. Yeah, I don't think you should bet turn, but like if you bet smaller, I have a bit more sympathy. Now, on river, here's a really good rule for you. I don't want you ever investing a ton of big blinds when you have no idea what you're doing. That's just sloppy,
Yeah.
and it's reckless, and it's punty. And I want us to have the ability to bluff. Like, I want us to identify overfolded spots, right? Like, remember we talked before about the jack nine, we're checking all the way to the river. No one's taking a bite of this pot. We think they've all got ace high all the time. Like, we're just bluffing there, right? Because it's overfolded, and we bluff with conviction when we think it's overfolded. I'm bluffing my hand because I think it's overfolded. It's higher AV to bet than to check. On the river, you don't want to call, you don't want to fold, and you don't want to raise. You don't want to do anything. There's nothing that feels good. And you're kind of just like blundering a bit into that raise action there. And honestly, I don't like it at all. I think that you rep almost nothing in this pool by check raising river here. Like, I think it's super unlikely that people in your shoes go for a check raise here for value. And villains in position small sizing, you know, they are going to be aware that they've opened the door to you doing stuff like that there. So I think it's a pretty reckless spot to bluff in. I don't know how capped villain is in position when they do that. They might be a bit capped, but they might not be as capped as you would think, because it's kind of blood from a stone spot. And I think that kind of out of position river raise against a very small in position bet is kind of falling into a trap a little bit. It's kind of asking for it a little bit, because you really aren't expected to have many value hands that play this way, half pot and then check river. I mean, it's fine to play that way with a value hand, don't get me wrong. Like, I actually don't mind it. I just think when people like see your river check, bet tiny in position, it's not going to be that overfolded a spot. So, but my main criticism about river is that you were kind of stumbling your way into like a guess for a lot of big blinds that you didn't have to make. And I think if you're in doubt, just do something that can't be bad. Like, if you're not sure, do something that can't be bad. It can't be bad to call. Maybe it's bad to call, right? But it can't be that bad. And it certainly can't be bad to fold. It can't be bad to fold. Like, this spot is just like hardly ever bluffed. Basically unbluffed, I would say. But it can be very bad to do what you did, to make it 29 big blinds if you're wrong. It can be very bad, right? So unless you have that conviction, you have that same read, and you've got that assertiveness to say this is an overfolded spot and here's why, don't do that. Guessing at it, not a good idea for a 29 big blind investment you don't need to make, right? So let's just keep that, let's rein that in and try and do it when we've got the sense that it's winning, that we're confident, that we're sure, that we know what we're doing. That's when we make 20 big blind river raises, when we know what we're doing, not when we don't know what we're doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. Nick Walsh in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going, Nick? You should come on one of our streams, man. I've missed you. We should really hang out. It's been like years. It's not even good enough. Old friend of mine, too, Nick Walsh. Good guy. PokerStars streamer. Back before PokerStars crumbled to ruin. Nick Walsh was holding the front line. The last frontier, if you will.
Yes. Cause. Okay. Check, check. Ace, ace. Okay.
So that was
Yeah.
cold called pot, check call flop and turn, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much to say. That's good. Yep. Oh yeah, Yannicka was asking how many hours a week did you study or play this year?
Oh, this year. Oh
Hmm.
my God. I think since I'm with you, wait. Let me think a little
Uh-huh.
bit. That's bad range. Okay. I have an ace of spade. Uh-huh. Continue betting. Try to bluff. Maybe I should overbet this. No. Let's bet this. I mean, he has queen, he's not folding. And now, I think I'll just fold this.
Yep, great hand.
Mm.
Great hand. Really good. Um, quick review, but play this hand first if you need to. Okay, maybe not the 5 deuce off. So on the turn, good bluff. Definitely a hand you want to bluff frequently. 10 turns not like an amazing card, but it's okay, right? Like you do make a lot of good stuff there too. Both players hit that turn. You can definitely bluff hands like this all day long. You made the right sizing choice here, but I'm not sure that was for the right reasons or whether it was a happy accident. So let's assess the difference between B75 and overbet on a card like this 10.
Mm. Uh, I mean, he could. It's kind of like the straight is. Wait, eight. So Jack 8 get there. So it could have a straight, right? So I don't want to bet too big. If he has a queen, he's not folding, and he could already have maybe like a straight or two pair or
Yeah,
something.
so on these, that's right. So on these turns where your betting range is less uniquely nutted, like if the turn was a deuce, you can overbet because your aces and kings and ace queen are still interested in piling tons of money in and soon. Because you have a nut advantage, your range is ahead at the top of ranges, if that makes sense. When the turn is a 10, you're betting more thinly for value. You're betting kings, you're betting ace queen now, you're betting more thinly. And yes, you have some nutted hands, but so do they. And
Mm.
there will just be more polarization in their range now. There'll be more terrible hands like ace 7 that are just awful. There'll be more hands like king jack that are nutted. So 3/4 pot is
Yeah.
right. It's the right sizing for value. It's the right sizing as a bluff, theoretically. And the good news is that if you make that value size, it's still fine. If you have king jack and you do that, it's good. So they're going to raise jack 8. They're going to raise queen 10. They're going to raise even 10-9 and stuff sometimes, even though they shouldn't. So
Mm.
great spot to size down turn. Villain raises. You just have a gut shot. You just don't have enough. Your ace and king outs aren't good. The spot's pretty underbluffed. It's a very clear fold. Yeah, good sizing,
Yeah.
good line, solid poker. I like that you thought about bluffing turn. I want to be nice and aggressive in that spot. Do a bunch of double barreling. Less is more there, as Clanty was saying to me yesterday in these spots, Less is more. You don't need a big sizing to fold out ace 9. And villain, it does have that nutted region now. By the way, they probably should fold a queen sometimes against B75 if it's queen 5 exactly or queen 4
Mm.
suited, because the
Mm.
top pair no redraw is one of the worst catchers they can have there. Much better to have jack 10, 10 8, even pocket 8s. Redraw is kind of king in this spot when it's this messy. So if you find yourself on the turn with queen 4 there, just fold to the turn bet. It's one of your worst bluff catchers on a messy board.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, good stuff. Good work. I like the focus. I like you taking your time there. That was disciplined.
Sometimes punt the money.
Yeah, sometimes you need to make these mistakes to then rein it in again. Poker's a weird game in that respect.
Which head raise this? Top, top. It's too big. This. Okay. Review? No.
I think it's worth just a quick word, and that is that you can do it. You can do either. And remember,
Yeah.
we are a fan of check raising against range bets as a bluff a lot. When it comes to value, I also think it's fine. I don't mind at all whether you call or raise this hand, but if you had a hand like 10-8, we're going to go with pure raise, right, as the pool exploit to punish the B33 that's being overfolded and underdefended. So yeah, but with this hand, it's good enough to raise for value. I like your sizing. I think it's fine. Yeah. If I were against under the gun, I'd be just calling, right, if they were tighter. And I think it's a bit thin, but against button, it's good. 1 week to go till the Black Friday sale starts on Carrot Corner, guys. Get that in your diary. It's the biggest discount we've ever done at 33% off all courses and bundles. And we have a video dropping on Black Friday, the 30th. Is that right? No, the 29th. No, the 28th, sorry. Which is with Clanty. Reviewing the 3-3 punts of the community.
When's that video gonna drop?
On Black Friday, on the morning of Black Friday. It's a two-parter, so there'll be one on Black Friday and one at the end of the sale on the 4th of December, 3rd of December as well.
When I watch him, he really like all in a lot.
When he plays these sticks, he's trying to showcase like the bullying lines that work really well, you know, and that's something we'll get to as well. But for now, solid fundamentals, good aggression, good value betting, fast play, slow play, bluff catching river against overbluffed lines. That's it.
Thinking so long. And I'm bluffing this backdoor flush, backdoor straight. Thinking so long. I call. Okay. 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 I don't know where that is. You call? I don't know. Okay.
Yep, let's review. What are your thoughts on flop?
Flop, I mean, blind versus blind range is very, very wide, and he checked, so I have the backdoor flush, backdoor straight, and he doesn't want to bet, so I will bet and fold all this random cards that's better than mine. Yeah, and then on the turn, I have a flush draw. Yeah, he called, and on turn I have flush draw, and then he checked to me, so I want to be like, you know, aggressive, and I just
Well, his
overbet.
check is normal. He called a flop raise, so his check doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Right, so we
I mean,
can't.
I just can.
Yeah, so it's not clear that you want to be aggressive on turn, necessarily. Your draw, you can bet again, and in general, barreling a flush draw on the turn after you check raise the flop is a fine thing to do. But if you look at this 10, this is a card where villain makes the absolute nuts 16 combinations of the time, and you make the nuts 0 combinations of the time. So villain has ace queen, 16 combos, you have 0 combos of ace queen. Right? So in previous hand, we talked about when do we play overbets and when do we play smaller sizes. And we noted that when villain gets really uncapped by the turn, we play smaller sizes, especially when we can't have the nuts. So if you're betting turn here, you're building around queen 9, you're building around 2 pair, whereas villain has loads of sets and loads of ace queen. So at the top of ranges, you're getting smashed here. So this is not a spot you want to overbet. You want to overbet in spots where you have a big nut advantage, where your value hands are pristine and sublime and villain's value hands are bad compared to them, right? That's where you want to overbet. So if this turn was a deuce, you're now betting king jack, pocket threes, two pair from flop, king three, jack three. You can play overbet there. But on a 10, you lose that polar nut advantage that you had when you raised flop. I'm not saying you should go nuts on a deuce turn, by the way, and bluff all the time. I'm just saying if you did bluff, you'd be building around like two pair plus, you'd be going big. But on this turn, you need to go smaller because your range loses that nuttiness.
Okay.
And I don't actually think it's a great spot for fold equity in general on turn. But what might be good is like turn bet, river bomb might be good here if they're going to fast. Like if you bet smaller on turn, they're probably going to raise ace queen a lot, right? And queen nine a lot and sets. And you might do very well there with like a bet line. I think that's fine. But overbet turn doesn't really make much sense, I don't think, given the nut advantage situation there. So your reasoning for overbet was, I want to be aggressive. I want to maximize my fold equity. The bigger you go, the more you lose when it doesn't work. So it's not always right to just go bigger when you're bluffing. You want to think about their range and the nuttedness, right? So keep going with that.
So just like B75.
B75 is good, yeah. I think that's about right for what you're trying to do. I also think check is really normal for you on the turn. You have a very bad flush draw. And it's not that you can't bluff a bad flush draw, you can. But I don't think this is like an overfolded spot. And I don't think your range wants to bet all that often on this card. It wants to bet sometimes. I think you can also check the 7-5 of hearts here, just realize, and it's fine as well. I don't think this is a mandatory bluff spot. I definitely don't think it's an overbet spot.
Okay. Yeah.
Nikki says, did you equip Shu and Jurgen with the top exploits for microsticks? Yeah, I gave them a list of 10 exploits. I want you revising that stuff, Shu, as much as possible. Like those things I've dropped in the PowerPoint, you know. I want you going back over them, making sure they're in the forefront of your mind when you're playing.
It's not a bluff hand, actually. This is my 3-bet bluff on BB. What is that? 3% raise. Thinking. He called. I think I should just give up here. I don't know. Or I bet this. Backdoor straight. Okay.
Okay, so there's a couple of things here. The first one is that the sizing you're using there is good for that texture because you have a big nut advantage, right? You can go bigger there when you're c-betting. And it's likely to overperform. It's likely to do pretty well, fold equity wise as well. So I'm okay with that being your sizing. The only thing I want to point out is that when you're out of position in a 3-bet pot, there are some standards for bluffing big. There are some standards being out of position. You need more going on with your hand out of position because your fold equity is lower in theory and in practice. So when you have only one over, no spades and no diamonds, this might be the sort of hand that just has to check fold the flop. Your instinct to check fold the flop is probably the theory thing to do here. And then you bluff jack 10 or you bluff king jack or you bluff hands with 2 overs that have a bit more going on, right? There is some standard here on this board out of position. I don't think your hand gets to do this in theory. I think it's a bit too far. If you were in position, if it was a single raise pot in position, you can do what you want, right? Like it's a much better world for you. Just out of position 3-bet pot, low board, some standards apply. Just try and remember that. And then you can be slightly, not that you have to be very selective. You don't need a flush draw. You just need not the trashiest thing possible, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That said, it'll probably perform okay against pool. But you
Hmm.
weren't sure there, right?
Yeah, and normally I just bet B75.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to like end it right there and just front load my
Yep.
aggression, and
In position, that's
I
great.
got a lot of
Yeah,
calls.
no, it's great. In position, it's great, and it's great with like slightly more equity. With that hand, it's probably passable against humans. Just be careful, like big blind hijack when you've got absolutely nothing. That's the only thing.
Interesting. Oh, bet this. Oh, just one bet. Hmm. Because I'm not betting my range, so I bet B75, just continue
Okay,
aggression.
so look at the opponent's range on the paired board.
Oh, wait.
Again, same concept. Look at their range. Do you have a big nut advantage on the paired board? Do your aces and kings and queens want to play for stacks?
No.
Right, so use a small bet. The paired board polarizes the opponent. Your opponent gains the nuts a ton of the time on a board like 10-7-7. I'm not
Hmm.
saying they've got a really strong range. I'm saying they have a more polar range. They have a more nutted compartment now that beats all your overpairs. So it's the same principle.
Hmm.
Don't use big bets on those flops. 10-7 deuce, big bet board. Your overpairs are killing it. 10-7-7, you don't have a nut advantage.
Or can I check?
You can check or bet small,
Oh,
but your sizing should be
I
small. And just because you're not
like.
range betting, this okay.
Hmm.
Let's do a quick theory lesson here. There's three types of boards in single raised pots: range bet small, bigger bet
Hmm.
polarize, and small bet polarize.
Hmm.
Range bet small is anything where you've got a big advantage that's paired high, any board that's really good for you, where you just want to bet your range small. That's fine. This board's not really good for
Yeah.
you. So it's either big bet
Yeah.
small, or we can eliminate range bet, right? And we can say it's either big bet polarize or it's small bet polarize. And because it's paired, it's small bet polarized because you don't have the nut advantage. If it was 10-7 deuce, it would be big bet polarized. So that's our framework for now. Range bet small, big bet polarized, and small bet polarized. Any board that gives villain a ton of nutted combos right off the bat, that's going to be small bet. And it's either going to be small range bet or small bet polarized based on how favorable it is.
You mean the small bet polarized is like B33 or
B33,
B25?
and it's not that you're really polarized, it's just that like you're not betting range, right? So there's some polarization to your Z bet range. But yeah, 33 is fine.
Okay.
Let's just make that our standard small bet.
Okay.
Yep. 25 is fine as well, but let's just keep
Okay.
it 33 for now.
Hmm.
Blue Bull says, Shu has been destroying me all week. I feel like I'm sponsoring her march to victory.
Who's that?
Blue Bull in YouTube chat.
Blue Bill 3. It's tight, so
So there's a lot of work to do based on this session. There's a lot of stuff to go back over. And we're going to wrap this up in a minute. So do you have any thoughts or questions or things you want to summarize here?
me? You pointed out a lot of things that probably need to like rewatch and and learn it again just to
Definitely set
hone it
aside
in.
time to do that.
Yeah.
Definitely do it. Make a point of doing it. Even if you're just like rewatching it a bit before you go to bed or whatever tonight, or it doesn't matter. Just like make a point to like set aside some time to just revise the session.
Flush draw? Flush draw. I think I'll just fold
Yeah, I
this.
love that fold. Good fold. I think you should raise flop for sure. I think it's really bad here
Okay.
not to raise flop actually. You got a fish donking at you for half pot on like a really dynamic wet board, and you have top pair, top kicker.
think play.
Sit out here. And we're going to
Mhm.
make this our last review of the stream.
Okay. I mean this
Hmm.
one? Hmm.
Look at his range. It's just all draws and worse pairs. Like, why are we not raising?
Yeah.
Why do we not want to make more money against the fish?
Wait, I raised and he called, and then on the turn I bet B75. Is that the plan?
He donk bet.
Or I just check?
Oh, do you mean if you raise flop?
Yeah, if I raise flop and then he called, and then on the turn, what I do?
Depends on the turn card, but on many turn cards you bomb it, yeah.
Okay, I bet again. On the river, just he bet it just fold.
Well, that wouldn't have happened if you raised flop. It would be completely different. It would be in a different world. You need to raise the flop. Your flop play is really quite bad. And it's thoughtless.
Okay.
It's thoughtless and it's bad. In a lot of cases, I'll be totally frank with you. It's lazy, it's switched off, and it's costing you a lot of EV. You got fish leading with all the 10x, 9x, and draws under the sun, and you have a very thick value hand. For now, let's make this simpler. If the opponent's range has a lot of worse pairs and draws, you raise your good pair plus, your good top pair plus against their c-bet, against their donk bet, whatever it is, right? We just take that value hand and we fast play out on these dynamic boards. Every time. If this board is ace, ace 3, and you have ace 10, okay, I don't mind as much because, like, there's no draws to rush value from, there's no made hands that you need to rush value from as much. But on 10-9 deuce, you're just killing villain here, and you need to just rush that pot growth. And if they fold here, it's not a disaster either. Like, your hand's semi-vulnerable, at least. So this flop play needs to get fixed. We need to start fast. You're basically default slow playing every flop spot. It's not going to be good enough to win this challenge. You've got to find the fast play flop spots, right? Because there are quite a lot of them.
But on this turn, if I raise the flop on the turn, I think I need to check. No?
What about on the...
I don't know.
I don't want to talk about the 8 of hearts turn. I want to talk about the 3 of diamonds turn.
Okay.
I refuse to talk about the 8 of hearts turn because it's just one turn card. What if the turn was the 3 of diamonds? How glad would you be that you raised the flop? You built this big pot, you've got all this equity now, you get to value bet again. It's just amazing, right? You really need to start valuing how amazing that is. The 8 of hearts turn, it's close, right? I don't care. Probably you still value bet subsizing, maybe you check back. The 8 of hearts turn ruins your equity a bit. That's not a turn card we're going to be continuing to pile money on, as you've identified, right? You know that. The reason you raise the flop is to make the maximum against villain's merged range, and that's mostly based on good turn cards coming. There are quite a lot of those too. The bad turn cards are good turn cards, but you want to rush value in a spot like this against the recreational because they're super mergy here. Like, think back to that lesson on slow playing. Top point, right? How merged is villain? If villain's range is all draws and pairs, they're really merged. So we fast play. Gotta get that into your game. We've got to get rid of this habit of slow playing flop by default, right?
Okay. Thank you, coach.
It is a harsh lesson, I know, and I know I'm being firm here, but it's what needs to happen if you're going to beat Jurgen, because Jurgen's going to raise his flop every single time. He's got his own leaks. Right now, I'm coaching you to beat him. When I talk to him, I'll be doing the opposite. But while I'm on Team Shu, I can tell you, Jurgen has leaks. He's beatable. But he's going to raise this flop every single time, I think. And he's going to have an edge against you here by doing that. Against the recreational.
Yeah, you're right.
You've seen the difference between 10-9 deuce and like king, king 5, right? When you've got a king on king, king 5, like you've got king 10 or something, don't hate the slow play. But when you've got ace 10 on 10-9 deuce, it's that dynamism of the flop. It's that merginess of villain's range, the draws, the pairs, brushing the value. That's what I want you thinking about. On the river, Razor's asking, can he value bet worse than ace 10? Do you know, because it's a fish, I wouldn't be shocked. But the river's a club. And I think if he value bets worse than ace 10, most of the time it will be a smaller sizing than that. And I also think it's very underbluffed now in this run out. So I'm still good with fold. Even if he sometimes has a worse value hand, I still don't know that we have 30% equity in that spot because it's pretty underbluffed. I love the river folds. You've got things you're very good at, and then you've got things that are very basic that are wrong. And it's like, keep doing the things you're really good at. Keep some of your bluffing's really good, as we've said. You're folding. You're very good at folding when people are under bluffing now. You're very good at that now. That's a very good skill. Fast play, slow play needs to be fixed. And then you could even be a favorite in this challenge. If you get that fixed, if you get your value game fixed, I think actually... And your value game is fine, by the way, when people are check calling against you. It's when people are aggressive against you, your raising game is off. If you can get your raising game fixed for value, you could have an edge in this challenge. You could become the favorite. You don't believe me, do you?
I believe you.
Yeah, you can become the favorite. Because Jurgen has strengths, he has weaknesses, you have strengths, you have weaknesses, you fix your weaknesses, and he doesn't, you win the challenge. Okay.
Okay.
Any final thoughts for today, Shu?
A lot to take in. I need to start raising, yeah. And less bluffing. Find a better spot bluffing. Not just bluff any hand.
Yeah, like bluffing is all about their range. Assess your fold equity. Bluffing's a real art, right? And like a lot of the in-position river raises you're doing when you're bluffing are actually really good. When your opponent's out of position and they probe a small size or something, half pot, whatever. Like a lot of your raises there are good. It's just like that spot in particular that came up. You checked river when you could have bet. The guy's bet like obnoxiously small. He kind of knows he's bet obnoxiously small. You can see the problem there, right? It's kind of like it's less clear that you're repping stuff. But bluffing's hard. We will do a class on bluffing at some point with both of you. But for now, don't stop bluffing. Just be a bit conscious on the turn and the flop of the sizes you're picking. Think about the nuttedness of villain's range. Size down a bit when they're more nutted. Size up when they're more capped. That's the golden rule. And then bluffing. Yeah, we'll get there. I want you defaulting to something that can't be bad when you're unsure, though. So when you're like, God, I have no idea what to do. I could raise to 42 big blinds or I could fold. Just fold, because you've not got a clear argument for raising to 42 big blinds, right? You can't justify that yet.
Yeah.
Thanks, Yannicka. Appreciate the kind words. And guys, do remember, next week, Black Friday sales starts at Carrot Corner. You want to head over to our site, browse some of our courses. They all have free preview videos. You can go to our course library and you can click on a course and you can watch the first couple of minutes of all the videos and see what you're in for, You can do that. And 33% off is the biggest sale ever. All right, Shu, we're recording tomorrow morning. We're going to make the next episode of our Race to 25 Vanilla. And you know what you've got to do. And we'll get you back on stream for the Black Friday stream on Thursday of next week. You'll be one of the guests. There'll be loads of other people like Bennett Badby and Easty and Jurgen will be on. And Shocked Chris is making a return. Put it in your diary. 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. all-day stream. Thursday the 27th of November. I'll be here all day. It's going to be a magical time. Don't miss it, guys. We'll see you next time. This is the part where we wave.